Why go around with a fat head? I don't have to do that. I can look on Jesus. When I focus on Jesus, I say, hey, I'm not like Jesus. And yet I'm preaching the words of Jesus. What right have I to do it? Now, my dear friends, if you want to be humble, boy, how many sins of omission. Now, is there somebody who will do me a great favor? If you put down on a piece of paper all my sins of omission, if you can, I know you can't, you will do me a great deal of good. It'll get me really humble. So I failed my Lord in so many ways. So many avenues of service I neglected, sitting around talking. You know how much people talk? I get fed up with talk. I don't know, I'm losing my patience these days, which is not very good. I need to be patient. I need to learn patience. But I tell you, I don't have much patience with talkers. When there is so much need around, what's the good of sitting and talking? Instead of getting on with the job. So, it has always been, my life has been hands-on. Get your hands on the job. Get your teeth into the job. Get the thing done. Don't sit around remarking about it and spinning a long tail. You know, folks, if the very people who sit in our camps or retreats or church buildings are real, this world can't be what it is. It simply can't be what it is. I just sit overnight in a plane. There are a lot of people in a plane these days, 300 and more. I'm just gracious to the crew, the attendants who serve. Nothing so wonderful. I don't go out of my way to say something. But before the end of my journey, the word has gone round. Hey, there's somebody here who is really polite. A member of the crew brought to me a bunch of sweets and chocolates, and she said, "You're such a sweet person, I must give you this." Well, I didn't do anything particularly sweet to him. However, how? You see, the Lord Jesus said, "You are the leaven. You are the salt." If we stayed as salt, things would happen. God's way is to break us, fit us, and endue us with His power. In this connection, I must mention, as you see in 1 Samuel, there's a lot of false armor these days. False armor. If you turn to the 17th chapter, they put on poor David the armor of Saul the king. And David tried it on, and this was his conclusion. And David said, 39th verse, 17th chapter, And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, meaning my mobility, my freedom of movement is curtailed by this stiff armor. I cannot go with them, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. Look at that. Now, anyone here putting on a lot of false armor, and you feel you need this and you need that buffer? You know, people insure a lot of things these days. You have to insure yourself before you drive, you know. And certain such insurances you carry perhaps, but there are some people who they can't have enough insurance. They must have this security, that security, electronic surveillance, and so on and so forth. But what are we told in the Bible? We are told to put on Christ. We are told to put off the old man and put on Christ. You know, that's what I want to put on. I want Christ living so in me that it is He who is seen. Put on Christ. You know, the 13th chapter of Romans and the 12th verse. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us put on the armor of light. 14th verse. Put you on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lusts thereof. Put on Christ. You know, my father was having a conference for a particular missionary work when they gathered all their leading pastors and workers. And there was a woman worker. She had been teaching others, but she herself was not converted. And during the course of that week, or 4 days of meetings, she was converted. You know, folks? And some very bad news arrived from her home that her daughter had died. Now, this news was not conveyed to the mother, but she was told, apparently, I don't know who did, that she must hurry and get to her daughter. So she went to my dad for prayer and said, I humbled myself, the Lord touched me, I have come through to the Lord. So when she got home, she saw her daughter laid on a bed and the shroud over her. And she got on her knees and prayed, and all the people who had gathered were wondering, what's this woman trying to do? And at the end of her prayer, she rose and called her daughter.